everybody. This is Anna Frankel, Akashic Record reader and channeler with another Monday message. And today we're going to talk about karma. So, I am going to explain karma a little differently based on my experience than what some people may think karma is. I think a more traditional way people think of karma is an eye for an eye, or if you do bad things, then bad things will happen to you, or if you do good things, then good things will happen to you. And I'm not saying that's wrong or incorrect. I think I want to expand on the concept of karma. I had a very interesting experience in my healing and spiritual journey to change my mind about how karma works. And it started off a couple years ago. I was on a group retreat to Mount Shasta here in California. And if you are not familiar with Mount Shasta, it's a very beautiful, uh, energetic root of the earth place for the world. It's considered one of the root chakras of the world. There's different places in the world that represent the chakras of the earth, and Mount Shasta represents the root chakra. And I was there with a group of other uh, healing minded individuals, and we were on a tour up into the mountainside and to visit a variety of different spiritual spots on the mountain. And we were taken to this rock formation, this rock outcropping, which in any old sense, if you were hiking and walking, it would look just like a bunch of rocks in the forest there. But if you are taking a more spiritual view of things, they actually had called that the love temple for the Vesuvians from Venus. And so this, at some point in time in the energetic spiritual realm, was considered a love temple. And of course, when you think of love temple, you're thinking this is all beautiful and lovely and wonderful and happy, pink hearts and flowers energy type of thing. And at first, it felt like that. But then we sat down and we were led through a guided meditation. And during this meditation, as the guide is giving these beautiful, beautiful imageries and visualizations about love and kindness and happiness, I am sitting here off to the side in the corner, essentially bawling and breaking down because what's happening in my visions and in the things that are coming to me are the total opposite of it. I essentially have this vision of me in a different world, a different realm and timeline where I am the aggressor. I am the warrior, the soldier has come to the love temple because in the history there at Mount Shasta, there were the Lumerians, and that they were destroyed. There was a big war there. And I was one of the bad people, the quote unquote bad people, to have come here and really wreaked havoc among the citizens of this world here at that timeline and that space. And it felt that I was living through it again. I was sitting there being this horrible entity, this horrible being, doing terrible, unspeakable things to people, killing them and hurting them, and just it was something that my human body and human brain actually couldn't take. And so I was actually crying and bawling and just so sad and devastated at what type of being, what type of entity I had been. Again, in another lifetime, in another world, in another realm, where for whatever reason that was what I was meant to do. There was to be the instigator, the homewrecker, the havoc maker, and to create chaos, to be the dark entity that was of pain and suffering and hurting other people at that time. And so again, this is all through visualizations, and you may or may not believe in any of this. It's not meant to change how your belief system is, but it is just something I had experienced. And I remember coming out of that guided meditation in such a broken state, such a devastated space compared to all my other companions there who were all like, "Yee, lovey dovey, yo, that was so wonderful." And I am literally just, snot and coughing and tears, red eyed, just appalled, absolutely appalled and terrified by my own actions from those experiences and lifetimes. And I mean, and I even felt it very physically, besides the crying and everything. Like when I touched the stones of this place, there was a jaggedness, a sharpness. Like there was an imprint of the pain and the hurt that had been caused and wreaked by myself there, and not just me personally, but like the army I was with, the group of entities. I don't actually know who we were, but we were essentially the bad guys. And I just remember being utterly devastated and unable to fathom that this was how I lived my life in that lifetime and could do such horrible, wretched things. And but we had to keep going. This was a tour of the different sites of the mountains, and though I pulled myself together with the help of my friends and the guide, it was very difficult to just sit with this, definitely trying to sit in peace with it and acceptance, yet very, very difficult. And it just felt, you know, again, back to the point of the message today, which is karma. Like, oh, how can I ever make up for that? How could I ever like repay the people? How could I ever equalize all the hurt and the terribleness and all the just just atrocities that were created? Like, and that was a very, very human mindset of like this equation, this balance to be had, as if the bad now outweighed the good. So how do I do good to equalize it? Or like, does more bad have to happen to me and then it equalizes? So these are the things going through my head. We go to a different site. This is now called Ascension Rock here on Mount Shasta. And at this particular spot, there was a variety of different groups there. And the spots I'm talking about, they have energy vortices. They just have extra energy and special feelings there, and it draws you there. It really does have a different feeling when you are in the presence of these sites. And so I'm still devastated. I go to Ascension Rock, and this is where the magic happened. So the guide, again, taking us through a guided meditation, and I'm still in my own world. I actually go off to the side again because I just needed to have a little more privacy. But as I touch the rock, you're supposed to touch the rock and you're going through the guided meditation so you could pull the energy from the site here and the ancient stones. And this is again another different rock outcropping. But as I put my hands onto the rock here at Ascension Rock, I almost feel like I just have these downloads of information of what my purpose is, what my meaning is. And it was the idea of this is your karmic retribution. And the concept, the traditional concept where karma is like you did something bad, so something bad happens to you. And obviously in that lifetime there was terrible, horrible things I did, and they were like, that's false. That's not how this type of karma works. You may have done all these terrible, horrible, atrocious things, but the karmatic retribution, the karmatic balancing act is for you now to live in happiness, live in goodness, live in peace and acceptance of yourself. And it blew my mind, like the literal feeling. I had shivers. I still get a little shivers down my body when I think about it. It's 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 not our human way of an actual eye for an eye. So if something bad happens, then more bad continues. The actual karmic retribution, the idea of karma now, is what really is the opposite of that, for you to atone for what had been done. So, in this sense, I was meant to bring more joy, more happiness, more love into this world. I was not meant to actually have all those other things inflicted upon me even more, even further, to propagate such negative atrocities again. It was to actually bring whatever the opposite of that terrible atrocity was, which was to have more love and guidance into the world for others to experience more joy, more happiness. And okay, back to the everyday reality life of our human world. That may seem like a bunch of BS. Like, Anna, do you not know all the horrible, terrible things that are happening in this world? And you think to make up for it, you just have like butterflies and cake and hearts and everything's all okay? No, that is not what I'm talking about. So we have very specific feelings and emotional reactions so to things that are happening to us and happening around the world and the things we see on the news and the media. These are feelings and gut reactions to what we see, and like, oh my god, that was horrible, the war is happening, um, kids are starving, the rainforests are being chopped down. Like, these are emotional reactions, and it's a human experience to have this emotional reaction, but on a larger, longer term view, meaning what do you call it, 10,000-foot view, as well as like a longer time frame view. We're looking at the idea of bringing more something else into the world besides what we're seeing. We're not trying to equalize it out again because something bad had happened. It's not about that. It's about like, well, okay, what do we actually want in our world? What do we actually want in our lives to happen? That's the karmic balancing of it. It is to bring forth more of what we actually want and desire. What is the anything you want to come forth, and that's how you equalize out into this different definition of karma. And it's not necessarily a science. I can't explain it like word for word, equal for equal. What I can say is that what we do focus on is what we can try to bring into the world. Maybe it's not some magical, for every tree downed, this is what you produce, another tree, because we don't understand exactly how the universe works. We don't understand how some of our small actions and thoughts and manifestations and activities really, how impactful that each and everyone can be. And impactful in the sense of like, you may be one little grain of sand on that large beach, but if we don't have a bunch of little grains of sand, we don't have a beach either. So it's really important to just believe in what you want to put forth into the world to bring that balancing act in play for yourself and in your life. And sometimes we're doing things at a very large scale. We're donating to a variety of causes that can help on that larger scale. But it might also be just as simple as like, you know what, that person cut me off that time when I'm driving my car, but maybe next time when I am driving, I don't cut somebody else off. I just let someone else in front of me. It's fine. And it's fine because I want more people to have good experiences in the world, including myself. So I'm going to let that happen. So this is a little different message here in terms of my beliefs of karma. Uh, and, if you feel that this makes sense to you, I would highly suggest that you spend some time looking at certain situations in your life that perhaps aren't as ideal or not that you want, and think about, in terms of, to balance that, what can you bring into the world and what can you offer in terms of even just acceptance or belief or non-judgment that may help yourself, may help others, to balance out some of what may feel like inequalities that happen into the world. And certainly you could go and be as active as you like. You could join and volunteer for nonprofits. You can donate money, time. Um, even just like your efforts, that can help people show that, hey, this isn't all bad, that there are some good people into the world, and you are part of that solution and problem at the same time, right? It's cyclic in nature about where we are standing and relative to other people as well. So we can only do what we can, but to bring forth what you want into the world and to try to balance what, again, may not seem like the best, think about what you want and put that forth into the energy of life, into the energy of the universe. All right. Well, that's what I have for you today. If you have any other suggestions for cool videos or topics that you'd like to talk about, please put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and continue making great videos for you around the subject of healing and wellness and self development. All right. Thank you so much. This is Anna Frankel, Akashic Record reader and channeler, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.